What would you do if the only thing left of your family's legacy was a crumbling house everyone called worthless until they realized it wasn't? I was 27 when Grandma Ellie passed, leaving behind a life of quiet dignity and a house nobody wanted. My aunts and uncles, with their polished city lives, sneered at the sagging Victorian on the edge of Willow Creek. A money pit, Aunt Clara called it, her manicured nails flicking dismissively. Tear it down or let it rot, Uncle Dan said, already eyeing his next investment property. They signed it over to me, Ellie's only grandchild, with smirks and pitying glances. To them, I was just Lily, the dreamer with no head for business, barely scraping by as a freelance artist. They thought they were unloading a burden. They were wrong. The house was a relic, its gingerbread trim chipped, its windows cloudy with age. But I saw what they didn't. Grandma's spirit in every creaking floorboard, every faded photograph on the mantel. She'd raised me here when Mom left, teaching me to plant tomatoes in the backyard and sketch the world with a pencil. This wasn't just a house, it was my home, my history. So I moved in, determined to restore it, even if it took every penny I had. I spent months scrubbing grime, patching leaks, and sanding floors until my hands bled. The townsfolk of Willow Creek watched with raised eyebrows. Fool's errand, they muttered. But I found treasures in the walls. Love letters from Grandpa to Grandma, tucked behind a loose panel. A locket with a photo of them dancing under a willow tree. Each discovery fueled me. I wasn't just fixing a house. I was reclaiming a legacy. Then came the letter. A crisp, legal envelope from Aunt Clara's lawyer. They'd found something in old surveyor's map in the county archives, hinting at mineral rights beneath Grandma's land. Suddenly, the worthless house was sitting on a fortune in natural gas. My aunts and uncles, who hadn't set foot in Willow Creek in years, were now suing me, claiming they'd been misled when they signed the deed. They wanted the house back. They wanted the money. The courtroom was cold, sterile, nothing like the warm chaos of Grandma's kitchen. Aunt Clara sat across from me, her designer suit a stark contrast to my thrift store sweater. "Lily, you're in over your head," she said before the hearing, her voice dripping with false concern. "Sell it to us. You'll lose everything otherwise." I clutched the locket I'd found, now hanging around my neck, and thought of Grandma's voice. "Hold fast, Lily. Love is worth more than gold." The trial was a blur of jargon deeds, rights, fiduciary duties. Their lawyer painted me as a naive opportunist, squatting in a house I didn't deserve. My lawyer, a kind-eyed local named Mr. Hargrove, fought back, arguing the deed was airtight. But the real battle wasn't in the documents. It was in the whispers of Willow Creek, where neighbors started sharing stories of Grandma Ellie's kindness, how she'd fed families during hard winters, how she'd never turned anyone away. Those stories became my armor. One night, after a grueling day in court, I found a hidden compartment in Grandma's old desk. Inside was a journal, its pages yellowed but legible. She'd written about the land, how she and Grandpa had bought it with their life savings, knowing about the gas but choosing to live simply. "Wealth isn't in the ground," she wrote. "It's in the roots we grow family, community, love." I brought the journal to court, reading her words aloud. The room fell silent. Even the judge leaned forward, her eyes softening. The verdict came on a rainy Tuesday. The house was mine. The mineral rights, too. My aunts and uncles stormed out, their faces twisted with fury. I didn't feel triumph, only relief and a pang of sadness for the family I'd lost to greed. Back at the house, I sat on the porch, the locket warm against my chest. The rain had stopped, and the air smelled of earth and possibility. I didn't care about the gas or the money. I cared about the tomatoes I'd plant come spring, the sketches I'd hang on the walls, the neighbors I'd invite for coffee. Willow Creek rallied around me. Old Mr. Thompson helped fix the roof. Mrs. Carter brought seeds for the garden. The house, once called worthless, became a beacon. I started a community art program in Grandma's name, teaching kids to draw in the same sunlit room where she'd taught me. The land's wealth stayed untouched. I'd honor Grandma's wish to keep it simple. Years later, I stood in the backyard, watching kids laugh as they painted murals on the fence. The house stood tall, its paint fresh, its windows gleaming. My aunts and uncles never came back. Maybe they found their fortunes elsewhere. But I had mine right here, in the roots Grandma helped me grow. And no court could ever take that away.